Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having an amazing day. For those that are tuning in for the first time, my name is Ricky. We run the fastest and largest private trading community out there in the world. It's called Technical Solutions. It's a free group. Third link in the description, and feel free to join if you guys have not already. If you want the ability to watch me trade live every single day, that's the Learn Plan Profit group, and that's that first link in the description. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about certain patterns that within the past couple of trades that I've been able to take that have led to my success. If you watched today's video, first of all, I want to thank everyone that's tuning in live right now. You guys should be able to see your comments as you guys are tuning in. So thank you guys again for, let me make sure that I could see everything. All right, I think we're all good. So you guys should be able to see your message right there. I know it's pretty late. It's about 11:30, so about 30 more minutes until midnight. But I want to show you guys certain patterns that I've been able to focus on this specific week that have really acted. Like today was, I cleared almost $1,000 profit with 2 trades. And it was probably one of the, how many of you guys have ever had this? Like sometimes it's really difficult for me to even just hit maybe $300 to $500 profit. And again, for those that are asking like how much money am I trading with, $15,000 to $25,000. Those are my normal position sizes. So I need you guys to know that, because think about the percentage. If you're trading with $1,000, you're not going to experience most likely the same type of return. I want to be like as transparent as possible. So with that understanding, like, you know, sometimes I really struggle. How many of you guys have ever done that to like even either stay green, to find a pattern that, you know, I see value and that's actively trending up, or just to make, or to hit my daily goal. My daily goal is around $500 to $750 a day. And today, with just 2 trades, I was able to clear almost $1,000, $985 to be exact. If for those that weren't able to watch, you know, yesterday's, or not yesterday's video, today's earlier video. Let me see if I could actually pull it up, because it was JNUG that I took the position on, and nope, my P&L is gone. But yeah, you guys should be able to see it on my YouTube channel if I'm not mistaken. I showed the profits and all that, $985. And like, why is it that today played out so well, right? And if you guys remember, I was just like, after this second push, when I sold at around that 740 price point, it pushed up to highs of 750. It pulled back to that same territory. I was just like, hey, I'm no longer going to trade today. I really just wanted to focus on what was actively trending up and just keep it like that, right? Now, what is it for new traders that, you know, let me actually do this with the group. What are some of the most common mistakes that new traders make? I want to be this like a back and forth between those that are watching live, because a lot of you guys are not new traders, but some of you are, right? So what is it that you guys struggle with the most? So within the past couple of weeks, what is it that, you know, we have struggled with? Cutting losses, Luis, 100%. And I don't even want to say just newer traders. I think that's traders in general. Bag holding, right? So being able to properly cut losses, to know when to pull out, to not bag hold. I think that's a huge, if you're a new trader, if you're a trader in general, write that down and let that be a huge focus. If you're not a bag holder and you know when to cut losses, 100%. Over trading, another great thing. One thing that I did amazing today is I most likely would have traded JNUG again after that sell-off, because I would think that it would start to reverse and I would have ended in the red. Why, might you ask? Look, I continued to buy at the reversal around this area right here. As this thing sold off and it tried to reverse, I probably would have purchased here. It got rejected at 730 though, and then it sold off. I probably would have ended up having to cut losses. And that is a very common mistake. You need to know when to buy and then when to step away, right? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. But again, I want to talk about, you know, certain patterns that a majority of new traders struggle with. Because if we can identify what new traders make the most common mistakes in, you can pinpoint that and then work around that so you don't have to make these same mistakes that so many traders already have made. Consistency, right? Being able to consistently lock in profits. I think, if I may, that's something personally that I do very well. I can say that cutting losses, bag holding, area of opportunity for me, emotions, area of opportunity for me, something that I still need to work and improve on. It's something that I'm, you know, even years down the road that I'm going to continue to try to refine. But I think when it comes down to consistency, and for those that get to watch me trade live and learn plan profit, you guys know that I'm very consistent and just locking in profits, even though there's this like joke that we have that every time that I lock in profits, it continues to push up. But I'm okay with that because I know that I consistently stay green. And I know that that is a huge area of opportunity for a lot of new traders. So let's make sure that we note that, right? Now let's see. anxiety, waiting to sell something right away. Okay, I could see that why I personally, I don't struggle with that too much. I try to focus much more on the patterns, and that's something that we'll cover today. But Sergio, thank you again for tuning in. I really do appreciate you tuning in. I got Ishmael back here. He just told me, showed me the message that you just sent him about the shirt. So pulling the trigger, yeah. So this is from Much Respect. So for those that don't understand like what that means is understanding like when to buy and when to take action to actually buy. A lot of people when they're just getting started might get scared and pulling the trigger and buying your first stock, right? That's 100% something that you need to build confidence on. So let's write that down, right? Creating a full plan and sticking to it, 100%. Anyone can come up with a plan. If anything, those that are part of Learn, Plan, Profit, I encourage them on a weekly basis to come up with a weekly plan for one stock, to plan out their trade in stocks that they see value in. And a lot of people do a very good job planning out their trade, what they're going to wait on for their confirmation, where they're going to sell. But when emotions come into play and when maybe it's performing either better or worse than expected, a lot of emotions come into play and it gets very messy. But if you keep it simple, it's the simplicity that's very difficult for people. Like just to put it into perspective, how easy is it to save money? It's very easy. You just don't spend it, right? But it's the simplicity that makes it so difficult because it could get very complicated. And buying low, selling high, I wouldn't say that. Okay, so I mean, that could be something that some people might experience. Yeah, so pulling the trigger is a big one. Okay, I like that. I actually did not know that pulling the trigger was a very common one. Okay, buying out the confirmation, the reversal in the EMA. I think reversal confirmation is something that is very important for you traders, and that is a pattern that I'm going to talk about. It kind of like an indication, but support and resistance, yeah, I could see that could be difficult for some people. But let's see, Ricky, why didn't you stay in Iceland, right? Revenge trading. Yep, that's kind of like over trading, right? Let's go ahead and get right to it. So you guys pointed out a bunch of amazing things. I hope that those new traders that are tuning in can kind of write those down, write those tips down that some of our experienced traders and even new traders are sharing with you, because I can almost guarantee you that if someone is experiencing this obstacle, you most likely will experience it as well, because almost every single one that was listed is something that I've encountered, and I think we could all agree on that. So yeah, let me go ahead and start to the doing the breakdowns. I want you guys to know the way that I break stocks down, the way that I trade is my specific trading style. I want you guys to know that my style of investing is not the only style out there. There's so many people online that you can learn from. We run the largest YouTube channel. We have over 330,000 subscribers. We run the largest private group for those that invest in the stock market. It's free. It's TechBud Solutions, over 145,000 members, but we are not your only option. And I need you guys to know that. I am very conservative. I trade with a certain dollar value, and I do things in a certain way that some people, majority of people, find very attractive and easy to understand, and some people can just not like what it is that I do. And I just want you guys to know that, right? So I'm going to start sharing my screen. I need you guys to know that this is not the only way to trade. It's just something that has led to my success, not only today, but with the overall market conditions. Yeah, so that have changed within the past couple of days. So let me go ahead and get right to it. We did a very good job. For those that are part of Learn, Plan, Profit, I have to give props to each and every single one of you, because it was because of the focus that each and every single one of you had in today's stream that made it so easy for me to focus on what was actively trending up. To put it into perspective, ticker symbol DRIP. We have this so on the 1 day, 1 minute chart, first of all, for those that are going to be asking, I'm using the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. It's available within the States. If I don't know any brokerage that's not available outside the States, you can Google that. But one indicator that we really focus on, and again, this is my preference, is the VWAP indicator. That's VWP. If you're part of Learn, Plan, Profit, I have a video on that and how is it that I use it for day trading. But pretty much, it's this red line that you see right here, this purple line, and then this yellow line. Let me put it into perspective. When something is actively trending up, right? You want to grow your account. So I want to grow my account. So one thing that I do is I want to make sure that I'm investing in something that's trending up within that day. Let's note this. How many of you guys want to grow your account, but sometimes become so obsessed with trading a specific stock or ETF and you force your entry because that's the one that you want to trade? I've 100% done that. I've done that with DGAS, I've done that with UGAS, I've done that with DRIP, all the inverse ETFs out there. I want to trade UGAS and not DGAS, and I try to force and see value in it on why it's going to reverse. When it's trending below the middle VWAP and when it's trending below in between the middle and bottom VWAP. To put into perspective, for those that just want a very simple breakdown, I like to focus on a stock that's trending up, and I use the middle and top VWAP to indicate signs of an uptrend pattern. So as we can see, DRIP today, it covered supposedly 8.93%, but if we look at when it crossed, above the middle VWAP and its peak that it hit today, it was around that 8% margin, right? In between the middle and top VWAP, and it really did a really good job staying true to this EMA indicator. Very easy to identify when something is actively trending up. Let's look at the inverse of this, ticker symbol GUSH. Very easy to identify that, let's say when GUSH pushed up and then it pulled down and then look, it's starting to reverse, it gets close to the middle VWAP. How many of you guys, for those that really wanted to trade GUSH, would try to, I'd say, okay, well, now it's the time to buy. It's above the EMA indicator. It's going to push up and it's going to completely break the pattern. No, look at the SMA indicator. It's showing signs of a curling downward pattern. It's trading in between the middle and bottom VWAP, and it's making lower lows. And if you understand how also, this is a little bit more complicated, but for those that are part of Learn, Plan, Profit, there's a section for you that explains how to use futures and to correlate them to their correlating ETFs. And if you look at /CL, you could see that it was showing signs of a downward pattern, which made sense that, GUSH was showing signs of a sell-off, right? And it 100% made sense on why it was selling off. And that is something that we know. You guys might be saying, Ricky, we've covered this multiple times. The reason that I'm reiterating this is because so many people, and as myself, JDST today, showed signs of a complete uptrend pattern. Yes, it consolidated for a little bit, but then, after this SMA really started to pick up, it did an amazing job holding above the middle and top VWAP. It just continued to show signs of an uptrend. It did pull back a little bit during extended hours, so we'll have to see if this thing continues to rally and continues to be bullish tomorrow. But one of my biggest focuses, 3 things to try to keep it simple, and I'm sorry that I just wanted to give you guys some examples. Regardless if you trade a stock, regardless if you trade an ETF, 3 things that I'm going to focus on, and it's something that I talked about in the earlier video. The first thing is I want to make sure that it's trending and trading in between the middle and top VWAP. I need to make sure that not only is it trading between the middle and top VWAP, but that it also has margin to cover. And we've covered that before. How do you identify that? You could look at larger time frames, see what previous highs are, see previous resistance on where that might be, and see how much margin it can cover within that day. But also take into consideration that just because it's trading in between the middle and top VWAP, it does not mean that it has to continue to rally within that margin. Just like we saw JNUG and JDST. JNUG was kind of trading above the middle and top VWAP in the very early hours of the market, but it wasn't until maybe 1 or 2 hours later that it really started to pull back, and then JDST started to push up. So understand that that's why we buy low and sell high, and you need to understand that range within that middle and top VWAP. So we still need to stick to the very basics of understanding of getting in for a good deal and selling for a profit, but I want to focus on whatever's actively trending up that specific day. Another thing is locking in profits. I want to make sure that a core focus for me tomorrow is anytime that I see any sign of a resistance, regardless if I'm up or down, I'm going to make sure that I make it my job and my sole focus to lock in profits. The last thing is understand when to cut losses. If you are down and there's a break of pattern, if it trades below the middle VWAP, regardless of how much emotions or attachment you might have or belief in the specific ticker, one thing that I'm going to do is to simply keep all emotions aside, cut losses quick, and then move on to the next one. Just, again, keeping it simple. I know that some of you guys might be under the PDT rule, but instilling this value of not bag holding something, just to put into perspective, how many of you guys have taken a position, did not cut losses, and then a new opportunity presents itself, let's say another stock that is so much greater than the opportunity in the other stock is so much greater than the one that you originally took advantage of, that now you're missing out. Not only are you losing money on the one that you're bag holding, but you're missing out opportunity because you didn't cut losses quick enough, that now you have to wait for this one to reverse back up to even just break even when you could have just cut losses right away. And you could have been down maybe a couple dollars, whatever it is. But if you manage your risk and focus and continue to focus on whatever's actively trending up, just continue to manage your risk And that's why we encourage a lot of our newer traders to start trading with paper money, with fake money, because you're going to make mistakes. But as long as you stick to these core values, we really hope that it acts as a positive catalyst for your success. So now I think I'm just going to close it out with maybe some questions. And that's really just it. So does he call out entries and exits in the course? So Dylan, if you're going to, and this is 100%, I'm going to be respectful as possible. If you want to join the Learn Plan Profit course for me to tell you where to buy and sell for signals, do not join. Do not join TechBot Solutions. Do not join Learn Plan Profit. We have never, nor will we ever sell signals. You guys know from the very beginning, the entire course is to teach you the basics and fundamentals of trading. And it does it in a step-by-step process, but the biggest value is being able to work with me on a daily basis. Regardless if you're part of TechBot Solutions or Learn Plan Profit, you guys know that you guys have the ability to direct message me. And one thing that we do, I think, very beautifully is I'm actively trading every single day. So I, not only myself, but my team dedicates our entire day to focus on breaking down whatever stock that you saw value in, and to give you my own 2 cents on what it is that you might see value in, what I would do differently. And I think that's how you, like, let's say I'm not here tomorrow. The reason that we don't sell signals is because, again, like, let's say I'm not here tomorrow, right? Let's say I'm not here in a week. Now you're going to be so needy and needing like my signals that it's not going to make sense. And regardless, you should not be trading based on other people's opinion. And that's something that we've talked about multiple times. We want to build and have you understand what it is that you're investing in. It's to put into perspective. I think the easiest way to put it, and I use this example all the time, is if I were to just walk up to you and hand you $1,000, and let's say you're at a mall, I hand you $1,000, most likely, I'm not saying just you, but most likely the average individual will take those $1,000 and spend it freely, right? Because they didn't really work for it. There's no emotions attached to it. It's really just money that was given to you. And that's kind of how I think some people feel. I can guarantee you, a lot of the people that are trading CRON, CGC, all these momentum hyped stocks, and people think that they have it all figured out. 1 or 2 months down the road, when those stocks pull back and all that hype behind that marijuana is no longer there, they don't know what acted as a positive catalyst to drive that price up. They don't understand the pattern, they understand the momentum. They were just part of the hype. But if you understand what you're investing in, if you understand the pattern and you understand what led to your success, one of the most rewarding parts I think about trading, I think a lot of people that are part of not just Learn Plan Profit, but that actually dedicate time to learn how to invest. Once you break down a stock, once you plan out your trade and it works according to your plan and you end up locking in profits, regardless if it's exactly how you thought it was going to be or not, even making 1% profit it is one of the most rewarding feelings ever, because it is something that you planned and prepared for and performed according to your plan. And that's what we want to do. Now, if you worked for those $1,000, you're most likely or less likely to spend it freely, right? Because you worked really hard for it. And at least for the average individual, for something that you work very hard for, you're not going to just give it away, right? And that's really just it. Obviously, I'm not a huge fan of these marijuana stocks. I think that there's a bunch of hype and a bunch of manipulation behind it. That's my opinion. And I'm sorry if I offend some of you by my opinion. It's something that we're all entitled to. I just wish you guys the best. I just want you guys to, the thing is, like, I don't really, like, I don't care, like, what you guys invest in, right? My core focus and our group's core focus is for you to understand what you're getting yourself into. When it comes down to, one of the houses that I just sold, right? When it comes down to, actually, I'm going to have to provide you guys an update. I just sold one of my cars. I buy them because I know that I'm getting it for a good deal, so I could sell it for a profit. I understand what I'm getting myself into. When I trade something, I have a form of technical analysis or an understanding of what it is that I'm doing. And that's what I want for each and every single one of you. I don't care. I hate HMNY, and I hate when people ask me about that stock. But if you see value in something and you see value in that for whatever the reason might be, and it makes sense to you, then all power to you. I want you to do whatever it is that you invest in what you see value in. And by you doing that, you will learn from your mistakes and grow from that. But as long as you understand what you're doing, that's what I find most important. So, yeah, that's really just it. I want to thank you guys again for your time. I know that this video maybe might have been a little bit longer than expected. I just really wanted to make sure that tomorrow is Friday. I want to make sure that we ended on a green note. And I want to reiterate, what has led to my success and make sure that we stay true to the principles that I think that could really lead to consistent growth. So I want to thank you guys again for your time. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams, let your passion be what drives you in your success. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, you guys know that you guys can direct message me within the Tech But Solutions Discord chat. There's so many questions that are pushing through right now. Hope you guys don't get offended that I can't answer all the questions. But if you guys have any serious questions, be sure to direct message me within the Learn, Plan, Profit or Discord chat. Please keep it under 150 characters if you want me to respond. If it's over, I'm not going to be able to respond. But yeah, that's really just it. So if you want to join Learn, Plan, Profit, again, it's that first link in the description. And if you want to join Tech But Solutions, it's that third link in the description. So invest 30 seconds, check it out, and give me any feedback that you guys might have in that comment section. Thank you guys again for your time, like always. Let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy.